Well, good morning, everybody. I had an interesting week with snow in Colorado. I hope your week has been maybe just a little less interesting. But so I'm all dolled up in my winter wear right now. But you know what? I dropped the podcast Wednesday on self love, and then I sent the email out this morning because the week got away from me. And now I have gotten some questions on self love. If you haven't read the email, I'm kind of proud of it. So go read it because it really does kind of highlight the importance of self love and why we need self love on this weight loss journey. Because, I get two questions. First of all, why is self love important in this whole, all I want to do is eat less and move more and lose weight? And what does self love have to do with that? Which always, brings Tina Turner to my head. And then the other one is I have no idea how to give myself love. Not a clue. So I'm going to talk about those in a real quick, brief moment here. But go check out the podcast. I'm totally excited. It's now on iTunes. Subscribe for me because, I'd like to see the number go up. It makes me feel good. So make sure you subscribe. And if you don't have iTunes, it's also on Google Play and Stitcher and all of those places out there. It was a crazy week. But let's talk about this whole concept of self-love after I tell you who the heck I am. I'm Coach Michelle, and I help women that are struggling to reach Wonderland or those that have reached their Wonderland goal below 199 and are having trouble staying there. I totally get this problem. I've lost 100 pounds 3 times in my life, and I gained it back twice, obviously. The third time, I cracked the code on getting to my goal and staying there. And I have a total mission to help other women reach their goal and stay there, because what the stereotypical weight loss world said worked did not work for me. So I want to help those that have that same struggle. And for those of you that think you're too old and that it's because you're over 30 that you can't reach your weight loss goal, I can tell you that I reached mine at 42 and I will be 50 in a couple of months, and I'm staying there. So age has nothing to do with it. You can so totally do this, and it can be easier than they want you to believe. All right, so let's dig into this whole concept of self-love. Check out the podcast because Poppy and Jeff Spencer are way more expert in this than I am. I'm just going to share with you my own experience and how I had to make some serious changes, because for most of my life, self-love was all about food. That was how I showed my self-love. I deserved that pizza. I deserved that cheesecake. It was a rough week. I needed that relief with food. So I have since learned that there are actually 5 languages of love, and gifts are only one of them. And I spent the majority of my life gifting myself food, which did not serve me well. So the other 4 languages outside of gifts are actually, and I'm going to look so I don't mess it up, words of affirmation, so telling yourself nice things, physical touch, and receiving gifts obviously is in there, and then quality time, which is huge for me, and then acts of service, which is doing something for somebody. Now, little did I know that gifts, do I like it when my husband gives me gifts? Yes. Everybody likes to receive a gift. But it's not high on my list of things that I wish for. Back when it was all his job, in my mind, to fill my cup and make me feel loved, I wanted to spend time with him. I didn't want gifts. I did complain because he didn't do much, but now he's the laundry fairy. So, it's nice to have those acts of service too. But really, the highest thing on my list was spending time with me. But you know what? I didn't spend any time with myself, listening to my thoughts. I didn't spend any time validating how I felt. And those were all things I expected him to do. Words of affirmation are nice. Nobody is 100% one of these 5 love languages. We all have, some are higher, some are lower, and the different ones meet in different places as far as what makes us feel good, what makes us feel loved. In the podcast, I believe Poppy actually shares a place that you can go to take what is your love language quiz. I did look up a couple this morning. One of them was, what's your love language? But you can search that, and I will actually put up a couple and talk to Poppy and make sure that I get a valid one that we know really works and put it out there for you guys. But why is this important? I've told you what the different love languages are, but why is knowing your love language important? Well, if you're spending a lot of time depressed or anxious or, generally unhappy, sorry, coffee, need it now. Knowing your love language can fill your cup and make you feel better. And if we feel better, isn't there less likelihood that we're going to give ourselves a gift of food if we're able to validate those feelings that we're having and make ourselves feel better? Particularly if you're like I am and I'm an emotional eater. Stress, I want food. Anger, I want food. Sometimes even happiness, I want food. I work really hard on breaking those connections between emotions and food. But in order to do that, I needed to know what my love language was. And for me, spending time writing things out and listening to my thoughts and telling myself it's okay to be scared to death to do a Facebook Live, or it's okay to be nervous and anxious about building my business or having problems at work, or, all of those little things that at one point in my life would have made me want to go eat. I don't go eat anymore. I sit and I write it out and I listen to my thoughts, and I'm giving myself the love that I need to process the emotion so that I'm not eating the emotion, and I feel better about myself in the long run. Another one for me is words of affirmation, which is my little bowl back here. This is really good. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. These little focus stones, when I'm having a rough day, I will go pull one out that encourages me where I'm at. One of my favorites is, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to take the next small step. And I must stare at that thing like 300 times a day. And then sometimes I'll write it down, because that's giving me 2 different things. It's giving me words of affirmation, and it's giving me time with myself. And I'm allowing myself to feel those feelings, and I'm filling my cup by listening to it. So that is why it's important. Self-love is important because we have to validate how we're feeling in order to get off of this emotional stress eating, using food to reward ourselves train. So, all right, ladies, I did just hear a question pop in, but it's going to take me a second here to find the comments. Hold on. Jane says she needed all of this. Awesome, Jane. I'm so excited that this is something that's working for you. And Jen says hi. So good morning, Jen. This is something that we actually are diving deeper into in the inner circle right now. I just spent an hour recording videos for them for the success path of understanding self-love and their milestone. So this is an overview. There is a lot more, but for this time, just know that it's really, really important to validate how you're feeling and figure out what your method of self-love is and how to fill your own cup. And keep in mind that sometimes I have a friend that she fills her cup by having a lunch date with her child, which is an amazing thing to do. And the food is not the primary thing in that lunch date. It's the communication with her adult child. So sometimes filling our cup and giving ourselves love is reaching out and bringing in those people in our life that are important to us. One of the ways I fill my cup is to sit on the couch and cuddle with my kids. And I'm fortunate because they are 14 and 15, and they will still occasionally, come cuddle me. So on that note, ladies, have an amazing Friday. And I want you to remember that you can do anything for 5 minutes. And it's the small, consistent steps that you take every day that will get you to your goal. And I'm going to send you off with love and hugs. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.